better daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. It is Nutrition Tip Tuesday, and we're going to walk through something powerful to help you on your betterment journey with regard to your nutrition. Now, brief disclaimer, I apologize if my voice lets out on you. It's one of those unfortunate side effects of Ehlers-Danlos. Anytime I talk too much or I have a cough or whatever, it always shows up in my larynx because the voice box, the tissues of the voice box, are made of the same tissues that my tendons and ligaments are close to the same tissues as tendons and ligaments are. And so a deficiency in collagen means that they have a really hard time recovering from that. So if my voice gives out, don't worry, I feel great. It's just a matter of getting the words out of me. So today we're going to be talking about reducing friction in your nutrition. Now, friction is actually a physics concept, and not many people talk about it relative to nutrition. So it takes a little unpacking here. Brief physics lesson real quick. Friction is the energy that is wasted or dissipated by an object moving against another object. The friction coefficient is mu. In Greek, it looks like a U with a little tail. And a high friction thing means that when something's moving across something else, a lot of that energy is dissipated as heat. So you can imagine trying to push your couch across the living room floor. If there's carpet, there's a lot more friction, right? So that means that it might not move as quickly forward for you because there's a lot of friction between the couch and the carpet. There's lots of brushing up against that happens there. But if you're trying to move a couch over a hardwood floor, there's a lot less friction. When you push, more of your energy is converted to, actually moving the couch rather than being lost as friction. Friction's not a bad thing in physics, it just is what it is. But with regard to nutrition, I'm going to talk today about reducing friction in your nutrition. So what's friction in nutrition? Because it's not, the creation of heat energy necessarily, but it is when we waste energy on things that maybe we don't need to be wasting energy on. And when I talk to people about nutrition change, and if you've been following any of my work here in Better Daily or even on Defining Dad Bod, what you know is that I'm all about helping people look at the long-term sustainable way to create positive betterment. That's the idea of 1% better daily, right? Because in our culture around health and fitness, we might have a diet mindset, like, I'm going to eat this way for 4 to 8 weeks and I'm going to achieve results and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. What's unfortunate about that is that's just short-term progress that doesn't actually change anything for the long haul, which is why here in Better Daily, we speak very regularly about 1% better daily. We ask the question, how can I improve myself, my nutrition, my exercise, my spiritual health and well-being, my emotional and mindset health and well-being? How can I improve those things 1% better every day? Because if we change a very small amount and we do that every day and we keep going on an upward trajectory, that is what creates long-term change, right? It's not a diet that for 4 to 8 weeks you can stick with it, lose a few pounds, and then go back to what you were doing before and gain those pounds back, right? It's a change that allows you to see progress and then build on that progress year over year. And that's where we see positive and beneficial change. And so when I talk to people about the sustainability of their nutrition, there's a few things, that we always start with. Things like reducing processed food intake, increasing protein intake, shifting our nutrition intake around garbage fats that we don't need in our diet and getting healthier fats to build our cells well out of those things, increasing nutrients like magnesium, vitamin D, things like that, right? But one of the things that always comes up, probably a few weeks, maybe even a few months into a journey, is the pain points of nutrition, the things that are wasting energy, the friction of nutrition starts to rear its head, right? Because when you're in the beginning phases of a big change, you're motivated and you're excited, and that thing's at the top of your priority list, right? And so you make changes. You start driving toward changes. What happens is those changes could go on forever as long as nothing weird happens in your life. But guess what? Weird stuff happens in your life all the time. And so what you notice is the friction points in your life where energy's being wasted. I'll give you an example. I'm working with a client right now who he's made great progress. He's gotten good results. He's in much better health than when we started, right? He's lost a significant amount of weight compared to when we started. However, he's finding himself in a place where, as an example, he's having to prepare 2 and 3 meals for every meal because he eats something different than his kids, and his kids eat something different from his wife. And so what's happening is, as other stressors accumulate, things like, something good, beneficial, positive happens at work, he gains some new clients, and so he has a lot more time commitment at work for a week or two. It starts to feel like, whoa, this is unsustainable. It feels like my nutrition habits aren't sustainable because I have to spend so much time and energy preparing so many meals, but I also need to spend some time and energy on my clients, not to mention my kids, and not to mention my wife, and not to mention my own personal stress management, right? And so there's friction there. The friction is, why in the world is everybody in the family eating different meals, right? Why can you and your wife not eat the same thing? And there might be medical reasons for that and stuff, but that's a question worth asking. Not a lot of people ask. And similarly, why are you eating something different from your kids? Because theoretically, if you're eating something that's good for you, and that's good for your genetic profile, and that is healthy for you, then it stands to reason that your kids, who share quite a bit of your genetic material because you made them, they need healthy food too. They need meals in their life that are sustainable and good and healthy and nutritious. And so when it comes to your nutrition change and improving 1% better daily, when you recognize a place of friction in your life around nutrition, it's so important when you're able to do so. Once you recognize that place of friction, it's so important to spend some time and energy removing the friction, whatever that means, right? For this particular client, helping his girls develop a taste for some vegetables that are good for him too is really important, because he can't be eating what they're eating if it's not healthy and good and fibrous and high in protein and low in garbage fats, right? They might want to eat chicken nuggets all the time, but that's not what is good for him, and probably not what's good for them either. And so taking the time and energy to remove that friction would mean that now that they're eating the same foods, he doesn't have to prepare 2 different meals. He can just have that one meal and no problems with the client. And I know it sounds simple. It's actually very hard. Removing friction in your nutrition is very hard. I've spoke about it here before about another example would be going to the pantry, opening the pantry and having your shelf, because your kids need more carbohydrates than you on a daily basis. They're growing, they're more active, they have less glycogen stores, right? So maybe some graham crackers aren't bad for them. But if your snack shelf has a big box of graham crackers on it, or even worse, an open package with the graham crackers sitting right there, then you've created friction between you and your nutrition goals by not managing that pantry environment as well as you could, right? And so when you recognize these places of friction, friction might be cravings, unwanted cravings that you don't enjoy. Friction might be a issue at work that requires you to come up with some solutions around what to eat when so-and-so orders all this garbage and it's sitting in the break room for free, right? Friction means identifying the places where you're wasting energy in your nutrition journey, and how you might be able to change that so that in the long run, you're not wasting energy. When things get difficult, when things get tough, you're not wasting energy, because weird things are going to happen in life, man. And you need your default nutrition to be as low energy as possible, as easy to execute for you as possible. In fact, if it's harder to eat poorly for yourself than it is to eat well for yourself, then you're not going to eat poorly. That's all there is to it. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, KT. Good to see you guys this morning. And so today for Nutrition Tip Tuesday, I encourage you to take a moment and write down any friction points in your nutrition. Friction points, meaning places in your nutrition journey that are wasting your energy. And then brainstorm a thing or two that you might be able to try to start removing that friction. For my client that I just explained, one of the things that he's working to do is to help his girls develop a taste for some of the things that are healthy for him, and maybe not giving them snacks before dinner so that they're hungry enough to do so, right? Hunger is the best seasoning, and you can quote me on that. But for my other client, where the pantry is a really big problem for her, managing that pantry environment so that the kids have a different snack shelf than she does. And so when she opens the pantry, that's not the first thing that hits her in the face. That makes a big difference. A last final example I'll give to you is, when I talk to people about eating healthy, they're like, oh yeah, I know what to eat, but I just don't have that food in the house. I need to go grocery shopping. If you can select a day of the week that is like, this is grocery shopping day. No matter what happens, I will get up at 5 a.m. to make sure that I get to the grocery store, or I will stay up till 10 p.m. to make sure somebody gets to the grocery store with a list and a plan of what we're eating this week so I can come home with groceries. If you can set a day that is grocery day, what's really powerful about that is it removes the friction from the rest of the week. You have the healthy food available for you in your home. And so when it comes to, I need to make something for dinner, crap, I don't have a protein, so I need to go into the store first. That's huge. That's a lot of friction. And so to remove that friction, you're like, why don't we just order out? Or, why don't we just make a pizza? And those things over time, that friction over time, wastes so much energy in the lives of people who are trying to improve their nutrition. So if you want to make your nutrition sustainable and long-term, one of the key things you have to do is remove the friction, remove the places in your nutrition that are wasting your energy, so that when things get weird in life or your bandwidth gets eaten up by something intense or unexpected, your nutrition journey doesn't require a whole bunch of energy to keep up. It's just default. It's just the thing that you fall back to because it's easy and good for you and healthy and good for all the people around you. So I hope you'll take a moment to identify your places of friction, and that you'll think about one or two ways that you can improve that for next week. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on Nutrition Tip Tuesday. Thank you so much for dealing with my lack of speaking ability this morning. Hopefully my larynx will be good for tomorrow's Wild Card Wednesday. This has been Alex Van Houten with Better Daily. Until next time, guys, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.